Howdy, hi. It is Do Your Job Sports College Football Week 6 picks and predictions. We're looking at some of the best bets of the week. Let's get into the video. All right, first things first, got to recap the previous week's results. Somehow, I managed to go 7-7 once again, bringing our season record to 46-38. Since we lost 7 picks, 7 times 5, that's 35. We add that much money to the giveaway fund, putting it now at $70. So I'm going to recap these games real quick, then we'll get on to the picks we got for next week. Game number 1, 2, and 3, all from the Big Ten. First one, Illinois plus 6.5, also had the over 58.5. I really don't understand why USC was this much of a road favorite. Lincoln Riley is not a good coach. Every single year his team gets hyped up. It's like, oh, Lincoln Riley, he's got this quarterback and these defensive pieces. And then guess what? They lose games that matter. This is their second time hitting the East Coast. They have to do it again. They go at Nebraska. They go at Notre Dame. They go at Oregon. Okay, Oregon's obviously on the West Coast, but you're not going to win these games. And next game, they are home to Michigan. Good luck with that one, buddy. They're lucky they have a bye week in between, but this team's not good. USC is not good. Illinois, good bounce back spot. They win by 2. They almost choked this game away late, but they hit a last-second field goal to bring it home. Next game we hit, it was Oregon plus 3.5. I just mentioned how Lincoln Riley is not a good coach. How about James Franklin? He loses yet another must-win home game. He is now 4-21 against top 10 opponents. I don't know what better situation you could have being James Franklin. At home, whiteout, off of a bye week. Oregon State has played one more football game than you, hasn't had a bye week yet, and they're coming to your stadium. And you still lose with a fourth-year senior quarterback who's projected to be top 5 in the draft. You have 2 of the best running backs in the league. Your defense is supposed to be elite. And you lose this game by 6 because Drew Aller goes and throws an interception. Actually, I can't even blame Drew Aller. Their offensive play calling was horrible. You had 3 points in the first 3 quarters of football. It's like, yes, Drew Aller threw the interception in double overtime. You shouldn't have gone to overtime. Score more than 3 points in the first 3 quarters. Figure out how to run your offense. James Franklin, not a good coach. Much like Sam Pittman, he should be fired. Next game, Iowa plus 7.5. We win this bet despite Iowa losing the game. Iowa probably could have won this game. Their starting cornerback, Mark Gronowski, went out, I think, start of the third quarter. He got injured. Then they brought in their backup quarterback, Hank Brown, who went 5 of 13 for 48 yards and an interception. If they would have had Gronowski the entire game, I think they would have won outright. Indiana, they get it done. They win 20-15, but Iowa still covers the 7.5. Next game, you have the best school against the spread. If we're talking about purely FBS opponents, the goddamn Ohio Bobcats, minus 9.5, never a problem. They win the game by 15, final score 35-20. We could have won this game by a lot more. This was not a good game from Parker Navarro. He had 1 interception and 1 fumble, both of which really did not need to happen. Oh, my bad. He had 2 fumbles. When did I miss that happening? All right, according to the stats, he had 2 fumbles. Ohio should have won this game by 20 plus. They only won by 15. They should have won this minimum 22. Total yards of offense, Ohio 439. 439. You take away the turnovers, they win this by a bajillion. They move to 3-2 on the season. They take a pole position going to the MAC. I don't think Ohio's going to lose a game the rest of the year. Their schedule is very nice. Their toughest road game is probably at Buffalo, and that's the last week of November. That is going to be a banger. Next game, back to the Big Ten. We have Rutgers plus 4.5. They hit the road to play at Minnesota. Another game they really, really could have won. They lose, but we cover the number. Minnesota wins 31-28. Rutgers, too many turnovers. Simply put, too many. You had an interception. You had a fumble. I think they allowed Minnesota. Yeah, you cannot let Drake Lindsey throw for 324 yards on you. You held them rushing. Minnesota had a total of 37 rushing yards the entire game. But then their quarterback goes 31 of 41 for 324 yards. That is absurd. What happened to the Rutgers defense I used to know and love? In Big Ten play, they've given up 38 and 31 points to two offenses who can't score. They gave up 38 to Iowa, now 31 to Minnesota. Brutal, brutal stuff. 2 weeks from now, they go to play at Washington. Then you have Oregon at home. You end the season Illinois, Maryland, Ohio State, Penn State. Rutgers will not be making a bowl game. Then finally, you have the Raging Cajuns. This was one of the craziest games of the day here. Final score in this one, Louisiana 54, Marshall 51 in double overtime. Good Lord, was there no defense in this football game. Marshall, total yards, 503. Louisiana, total yards, 461. It was greasy. It was grimy. They get it done. They win by 3. All right, now we'll get to the losers. Probably the most surprising one for me, Kansas, -6.5. They lose the game outright at home to Cincinnati. Apparently the Sharps knew something the rest of us didn't know. The line closed Kansas -4.5. So the money was coming in on Cincinnati. You just can't be down 20-13 at halftime. Kansas's defense, non-existent. They allowed Cincinnati to go for 603 yards of offense. 603. Almost 400 of it through the air. Ridiculous. Ridiculous loss here. I mean, Kansas themselves went for 445 through the air, 597 total, and you lose the game. You can't be losing this game. Kansas had 3 fumbles. They lost 2 of them. They lost the time of possession battle by 10 minutes. I mean, that's your season. You cannot lose this home game. Your next game you play at UCF, then at Texas Tech. This Kansas team is going to finish the year 7-5, waste another season of Jalen Daniels. You are cooked. Then we had FAU plus 13.5. This was disgusting. If memory serves, this was a tie game at half. Let me double check real quick. Hold on. Was this a tie game at half? Okay, it was 17-16 at half. So they're down 1. We have 13.5 in our back pocket. They lost the game by 29 points. They got beaten 41-10 in the second half. How do you lose 41-10 38-10 in the second half of football? Ridiculous. Absolutely obscene. 487 total yards for Memphis, 291 of them on the ground. 291. Their 2 star rushing backs went for 5 total touchdowns, one of them being their quarterback. Do we just not know how to play defense, FAU? Like, what are we doing? You didn't look horrible against FIU. You beat them. You lost them 38-28. What you did was not look horrible week 1 against Maryland. You just had 5 turnovers. Play some defense. Have some respect for yourself. Next game, Washington plus 10.5. I knew this bet was not hitting when Washington, they were up 3-0. It was like 4th and 3 on Ohio State's 20. They lined up for a field goal. It was a fake field goal. The dude they were throwing to didn't even turn around. He was he was blocking 10 yards down the field. Had no clue the ball was even coming to him. Ohio State wins the game. Final score, pulling it up, I think it was 24-6? It was, 24-6. Even though Washington had what should have been a 6-0 lead, but it was really only a 3-0 lead. Washington cannot score in the red zone. If we're looking at total yards in this game, I mean, Washington only lost by 120 total yards. They were the better team in the first half. Their defense looked dominant. And then that fake field goal happened, and shit hit the fan real hard. Then you have Arkansas plus 6.5. Arkansas fired their head coach, Sam Pittman, this morning. They lost at home to Notre Dame in what might have been the worst performance I've ever seen from an SEC defense. Final score, 56-13. Notre Dame could have won by $1 billion. They were up 42-13 at halftime, and they called off the Dogs. 641 total yards of offense. 641. Arkansas sucks. Next game, we had, this was disgusting. NIU plus 100 on the money line. They scored 3 points. The entire game, they scored 3 points. Their defense played fantastic. San Diego State only had 2 field goals. The final score of this game was 6-3. Offense at a premium. San Diego State 266 total yards. Northern Illinois went for 179. NIU quarterbacks. They went a combined 7 of 16 with 1 interception. How are you a quarterback at the FBS level? You go 6 of 14 for 49 yards. I get it's the MAC and we're not very good. How are you a QB if you can't throw a ball? So that was tough. Next game, it was Stanford. We have them minus 2.5. They won the game. However, it was not by 2.5 or more. It was by 1. Final score 30-29. They were losing the majority of this game. They were down 20-14 at halftime. There were then 0 points in the third quarter, but then they reared all the way back to win the final quarter 16-9, winning the game by 1, keeping themselves relatively alive to make a bowl game. I still don't think they are because their ACC schedule was pretty tough. Actually, their ACC schedule is brutal. They go at SMU, Florida State, Miami, Pitt, Bill the Thrill in North Carolina, Cal, Notre Dame. You are not making a bowl game. Fuck you, Stanford. Then finally, Houston. This is the Friday night game. Houston should have lost. They 100% should have lost this game. They win in overtime, 27-24. Oregon State moves to 0-5 on the year. The question is, will Oregon State win an FBS game? Their remaining schedule, at App State. That may be winnable. Versus Wake Forest? No. Versus Lafayette, that's an FCS school, doesn't count. Versus Washington State? No. Versus Sam Houston? No. Actually, probably. Maybe Sam Houston figures it out. Then you have at Tulsa, at Washington State again? I'm sorry, they play Washington State twice? Why was I unaware of this? Anyway, Oregon State's screwed. Houston should have won by 1 million. They suck. Fade Houston next week. All right, that is it for the recap announcement. I do have a new sponsor of the channel. If you want to check them out, they're in the description below. Starting in the middle of this week, we will be doing a promotion with them where I'm going to start with the balance of $1,000 in the account. We are going to see how much I can run it up to. Whatever I do run it up to, I'll be giving away to you guys on the channel. So hopefully we run the 1,000 into like 1,300, 1,400, and to get that money away to you guys. So let's hope we have a few positive weeks. If you'd like to sign up for the sportsbook, the link is in the description below. Click on it, make an account, and you will be all set up. All right, that is it. Let's get on to the picks for tomorrow. All right, first game we got. This has been our first game. Every single time Ohio has played an FBS school, they have covered for us every single time. I will continue to back Ohio because they are better than every single MAC school they will play. Ohio, they're now 3-2 on the season. They won their last game at home to Bowling Green, 35-20. They should have won by way more. On offense, they're averaging 420 yards a game. They have the best quarterback-running back combination in the entire MAC with Parker Navarro and Sihad Bangura. Their defense wasn't too solid in the first half against Bowling Green, but in the second half, they clutched all the way up. They held them to just 82 yards of total offense in the second half, that was a typo. Ohio, they're the best team in the MAC. They should absolutely dismantle Ball State. Ball State, 1-3 on the year. They're coming off of a bye week, so if you wanted an angle to maybe bet Ball State, you could argue they've had more time to prepare. But time to prepare means nothing in the MAC. It's the MAC. You're either good or you're bad. 2 weeks to prepare means nothing. This is their first game at home against an FBS school. Their previous game at home, and their only other game at home this year, was against an FCS school in New Hampshire, which they only beat by 5 points, 34-29. If you are giving up 29 points to New Hampshire, you have problems. They're averaging just 272 yards on offense. Their defense is giving up 430 yards per game. And then just to add, nobody's going to be at this football game. Ball State is located in beautiful Muncie, Indiana. I don't even think their city knows they have a football team. This place will be empty. The Bobcats will win by 100. They will then go home. Next game, Why is this line so large? Boise State plus 17.5 at Notre Dame. I thought this would be closer to like 7.5. Why is this line so ridiculous? Yes, Notre Dame did just absolutely beat the brakes off of Arkansas. Arkansas fired their coach. They've been having defensive problems for a while. I think that game says more about Arkansas than it does Notre Dame. Boise State, much better team defensively. Similar team offensively to Arkansas, I think. I think this should be a close game. Boise, 3-1 on the year, winning last week at home to Appalachian State, 47-14. They outgamed them in total yards, 473 to 184. Quarterback Maddox Madison looks really good, threw for 4 touchdowns. Now he's going against a Notre Dame defense who prior to that Arkansas game looked horrible, giving up 390 yards per game, gave up 27 to Miami. They gave up over 40 to Texas A&M at home. They gave up 30 to Purdue at home. Their defense is not good. They have one of the worst passing defenses in the country. Notre Dame, like I said, they just beat the tar out of Arkansas. Defense is bad. I still don't like Freeman as a coach. They have a true freshman quarterback who, granted, looks very, very good, but eventually he's going to make some mistakes. I don't trust their wide receivers. It's been Notre Dame's problem for a while. They have talent on the team. They just never develop it. Give me Boise State plus 17.5. I think a money line sprinkle is definitely in the cards. All right, next game we got. I'm going to speed this up because this video is too long. I simply talk too much. Miami at Florida State. Might be the game of the day, arguably. Give me Miami minus 4.5. I think I would lay up to 10. Miami is going to dog walk the Seminoles. Miami 4-0 on the season, coming off of a bye week. And then Florida State's coming off of a road double overtime game where they got storm field. How do you think that's going to go? Their one dude got absolutely trampled. His name was Squirrel White. I'm surprised he made it out alive. That dude got rocked. Miami, 4-0. They beat Florida by 19 in week 3 or week 4. Really not sure how impressive that win is, just because Florida's awful. Their other victories, by Notre Dame by 3, USF by 37. They have the best offensive and defensive line combo in the entire country. Very veteran quarterback with Carson Beck. He used to date a Cavender, so if you just want to throw that in there for some bonus points, you can definitely throw that in there for some bonus points. The Cavender twins be looking mighty fine. Crazy take here. I think I trust Cristobal more than I do Norvell. If Norvell loses a game in like a massive fashion, I think if he loses a tight one, he's fine. But if he gets blown out here at home by Miami, I think you have to fire him. Like, yes, you beat Alabama, but Norvell has not been able to do anything with his team. Ever since they went undefeated and didn't make the playoffs, it has been downhill very, very quickly. You lose this game in bad fashion, you get fired. That is all. Next game, wrong team favored. Iowa State plus 1.5. I think it should be Iowa State minus 2.5. This line makes no sense. Cincinnati, yes, they just beat Kansas on the road. Show me you can win a meaningful football game 2 weeks in a row, and then maybe I will consider backing you. Iowa State, better team here. 5-0 on the season. They just demolished Arizona at home, 39-14. Their offense is very solid, averaging 386 yards per game. Quarterback Rocco Becht, third year in the program, really good. Defense is great, giving up just 310 yards per game, 14 overall points. This team has played some of the most amount of games in the country, considering they played week 0. Tougher schedule than what Cincinnati has played. Great spot here. Their fans travel well. The only time Cincinnati actually packs their stadium is when it's a night game. This is not a night game. This is a noon kickoff. No one will be at this football game. Cincinnati fans are fake. Cincinnati 3-1 on the season. Their only loss came week 1 against Nebraska at a neutral site game. Cincinnati really could be 4-0 if their university had any respect for themselves and scheduled that Nebraska game as a home game. But instead, they took a boatload of cash to make it a neutral, and they lost. So that is what you get. Their wins, they beat Bowling Green by 14. They beat Northwestern State by 1 billion. And then they beat Kansas by 3 on the road. Quarterback Sorsby, he's been solid, but if you looked at Sorsby throughout his career, you just can't trust him when he actually plays competent opponents. Then if you're looking at coaches, Scott Satterfield, I do not like. If you are a Cincinnati fan, you are upset that you won on the road at Kansas because that probably means Satterfield's job is safe. Satterfield is not good. This team is not good. Give me Iowa State to win by 10 plus. But realistically, just for them to cover 1.5. All right, final two games here. One of them I will barely mention. Then you have another game that might be the game of the week. Banger. All right, first game, the opposite of the game of the week. This is probably the worst game, maybe of the season. Sam Houston State on the road at New Mexico State. I will take New Mexico State plus 100 on the money line simply on the principle, why is Sam Houston a road favorite against any single FBS school other than maybe Kent State and Akron? Yes, New Mexico State is not good, but them being a dog at home to a Sam Houston team who has looked awful is just disrespectful. Sam Houston 0-4 in the year. Their losses, Western Kentucky 17, UNLV 17, Hawaii 17, Texas 55. This team is horrible at literally everything. The only good angle they have for them, they're off of a bye week. This game is on Thursday night, so New Mexico State is off of a battle with New Mexico, so they have a short week. Even with the short week, I don't care. Sam Houston is ass. New Mexico, they're 2-2. They have wins against Bryant by 16, so you can throw that one out the window. Doesn't matter. They beat Tulsa by 7. Their losses were to La Tech by 35 and New Mexico by 18. They should have the better football team here, so this is why it should be favored in this game. Main reason they're not is because of the bye week. Their fans, they might show up, they might not. Who knows? Give me New Mexico State. This line is disgusting. Final game. Why is Louisville a 6.5-point favorite? They should have lost their previous game to Pitt by maybe 10 plus. Pittsburgh just sucks with Narduzzi. Give me Virginia plus 6.5. Virginia 4-1 on the season. Last week they knocked off FSU at home in overtime 46-38. Their only loss came on the road at NC State week 2 by 4 points. You could argue this is a big letdown spot after winning against FSU and then storming the field. I really don't think it is. I think Virginia is legit. I think Louisville is fraudulent as hell. Virginia is one of the best offenses in the country. Their defense is solid, giving up just 350 yards per game. I mean, if you're telling me Virginia is going to get near 540 yards of offense, I will take them every single time. Louisville, undefeated, 4-0 on the year. They really haven't played anyone. They beat Eastern Kentucky week 1 by 34. That's an FCS school. James Madison by 14. JMU was ass this year. Bowling Green by 23. That's a MAC school. They didn't even cover. And they just had a comeback win at Pitt by 7. They should have lost the game, but Pittsburgh being Pittsburgh managed to lose it because they suck. Their offense, they average 409 yards per game. A lot of that's coming from that EKU win by 50-something in week 1. You take that game away, they're only averaging 342 yards per game. I think the money line is live. Virginia, plus 6.5. Sprinkle to plus 175. All right, that is going to do it for me in this video. I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. If you haven't already, you can go sign up through the sportsbook in the link below. And that's going to do it. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.